There's something happening with animation right now, and I don't necessarily mean that animation is dying, actually the opposite is true. We have more animated movies, shows, and digital content than ever before. Animation is everywhere. But at the same time, it feels like we're starting to lose something. Because when everything can be animated, when entire worlds can be created inside a computer, and when technology is making it easier than ever to create something visually impressive, how do you make something feel real again? How do you make animation feel like it has a soul? And that's why I think one of the most interesting movies coming out this year isn't a sequel. It's not part of a cinematic universe, and it's not coming from Disney, Pixar, or one of the massive studios we're used to hearing about. It's called Wildwood, and if you haven't heard of it yet, honestly, I don't blame you, but I think you should. Because Wildwood isn't just another animated movie, it's the latest film from Laika, the studio behind Coraline, ParaNorman, the Boxtrolls, Kubo and the Two Strings, and Missing Link. And this time, they're doing something bigger than anything they've attempted before.
I promise we won't leave the house.
Laika's Wildwood is being directed by Travis Knight and is based on the novel by Colin Meloy. Colin Meloy? I'll pop up a picture. The story follows Prue McKeel, a young girl whose baby brother is taken by a murderer of crows, sending her into a mysterious and dangerous wilderness hidden near Portland, Oregon. And from everything we've seen so far, this movie looks absolutely insane. But the reason I'm excited about Wildwood isn't just because the animation looks beautiful, but that is a part. It's because I think this movie represents something that Hollywood and animation specifically desperately needs right now. Something handmade, something weird, original, and something that doesn't look like everything else. So first, let's talk about what this movie actually is, because Wildwood has been quietly developing for a long time, and compared to other animated releases, it hasn't had the same massive marketing machine behind it. The film is based on the best-selling fantasy novel Wildwood, written by Colin Meloy, I'm gonna shoot myself, and illustrated by Carson Ellis. And the story takes place in a magical world hidden just outside of Portland. Prue McKeel is living her normal life when something unimaginable happens. Her baby brother is taken by crows, and already, I'm interested, because that's such a weird premise and sentence, and I mean that as a compliment. A murder of crows taken her brother into this mysterious wilderness, and Prue sets out to bring him back. Along the way, she enters a world filled with talking animals, dangerous characters, bandits, and an entire hidden society with its own conflicts and history. And that sounds like a fairly traditional fantasy adventure when you describe it like that, but look at the trailer. This doesn't feel like a generic fantasy movie. There's something unsettling about it, something strange, something that feels very specific to Laika Studios. And that's important because I think one of the biggest problems with animation today is that so many movies are trying to appeal to everyone. They have to be funny, they have to be emotional, cute, marketable. Not saying that this movie shouldn't have toys, because it definitely should, but going back to the thought beforehand, eventually everything starts to feel a little bit safe. And Laika has never really been interested in safe. And I think Wildwood might be their biggest example of that. Let's be honest, there are a lot of great animation studios, but when you see a Laika movie, you usually know it's their movie. And that's becoming increasingly rare. Think about Coraline. That movie came out years ago, and people are still obsessed with it. People are still making videos about it, essays about it, and people are still talking about this movie. There are people who watched it as kids and were absolutely terrified of it, me included. And somehow, we all still loved it because Coraline understood something that a lot of family movies forget. Kids can handle weird things. Kids can handle stories that don't treat them like they're stupid. ParaNorman did the same thing. Kubo and the Two Strings did the same thing. Laika movies can be funny and beautiful and emotional, but they're also willing to be dark. They're willing to make you uncomfortable. They're willing to have characters that aren't always cute, and visually, they don't look like anybody else because they're made through stop motion animation. And I think we sometimes forget just how insane stop motion actually is. Every movement, expression, tiny little detail, somebody has to make it, frame by frame. A puppet doesn't just move because somebody clicked a button, an animator physically moves it, frame by frame. Take a picture, move it again. Take another picture, again and again and again. We've all done stop motion as a kid, so this is basically what they're doing, just 10 times more, 100 times more. And here's where Wildwood gets really interesting. Laika isn't just making another movie, they appear to be going bigger than ever before. Travis Knight described Wildwood as the most ambitious and challenging project the studio has ever attempted, and recent behind-the-scenes material has emphasized the scale of the handcrafted world. And when you think about Laika's history, that's saying something. Kubo and the Two Strings was already incredibly ambitious. It had massive action sequences, huge environments, a story that felt genuinely epic. So if Wildwood is even bigger than that, we're talking about something potentially special here. And I think the scale of this movie is what separates it from a lot of animated fantasy films. This isn't just a small adventure in a magical forest. From what we've seen, Wildwood feels like an entire world. There are different groups, creatures, conflicts, characters with their own histories, and Prue isn't just wandering through a magical place, she's entering something that existed long before she got there. And I love stories like that, stories where the world feels bigger than the main character. Think of Coco from Disney. These movies make you feel like you're discovering something, and that's what movies are supposed to do. They are supposed to take you somewhere. Why stop motion matters more than ever. And I think this is where Wildwood becomes more than just another movie. We're living in a time where technology is moving faster than ever. We can create images instantly. We can create videos with computers. AI is taking literally over the world, and we can literally create entire worlds digitally. And again, technology isn't automatically bad. Some of the most incredible movies ever made use digital technology, and I'm talking CGI, not AI. But there's something about stop motion that just feels different because you can feel the human effort behind it. You know somebody built that character, somebody designed it, somebody painted the tiny objects in the background, and somebody moved the puppet one fraction of an inch. And I think that human element matters. Travis Knight recently described the act of making stop motion in an increasingly automated world as something close to a creative act of rebellion, emphasizing that audiences are ultimately connecting with the artists who bring the puppets to life. And I think that's a beautiful way to look at it, because when you watch a Laika movie, you're not just watching the final product. In a weird way, you're watching thousands of people leave their fingerprints on something so much more bigger than life. You can feel that people cared, and maybe that's why Laika movies have such a devoted audience. They're not perfect. Not every Laika movie is gonna be a massive hit, but people remember them. And in today's entertainment landscape, being remembered might be more valuable than ever. So when Wildwood finally arrives, I'm going to be watching, and I hope you will be watching as well. Not just because it looks beautiful, not just because Laika made it or the studio that created Coraline made it, but because I want to see whether a movie like this can still become something special. Something people talk about, something people remember. And if Wildwood can do that, then it might be more than just Laika's next movie. It might be the beginning of something really special. And honestly, I'm excited for this. And I hope you are too. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.
You said I'm pretty for now. I belong in this city.
If you've made it this far, I just wanted to say thank you for the massive success of the buddy video that I did. It's really cool to see a community form in this channel, and I'm really excited for what's to come. And I hope you guys are down for the ride, because there's going to be some really cool videos coming out. And yeah, stay tuned for some more awesome ideas.